Live
Yep.
again. Shout out to everyone. Shout out. Welcome everyone to the Septic Souls channel. Yeah. This is the Asian invasion.
Nice.
This song, Augie.
You're really doing Bhangra. Nice, dude. All right. Oh, man. That's great stuff.
I had to do that.
Why not?
Let's go!
Nice.
Demonetized.
That's the way to start. Right?
We're not even monetized.
Right? Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Wow, Huggy. Kidda. How you doing?
I'm
The
doing
Asian
all right, man.
invasion.
Yeah,
Let's see.
How's your week been?
It's been a crazy week. Eid Mubarak to everyone who celebrates Eid. For all those who have been fasting for a month and starving like I have. Welcome back. It's my second cup of coffee. Yeah. We're going to get lit today. Yeah. Man, Huggy, how you doing, man? You good?
I'm good. Yeah, I've been busy at work, but otherwise pretty good. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Lost in Random. It's an EA game. It's available in Game Pass, and trying to get through Gotham Knights with a buddy of mine. So see if we can get that.
You finally got the Knights. That game is supposed to be a bit shit.
Well, I wouldn't call it that. It's the motion's a little janky at times. It's a little irritating. It definitely still has performance issues on the console. I have it on PC where it works pretty well, but on my friend has it on console, and I believe it doesn't do crossplay. So I just ended up getting it on console as well. So we're both playing on the Xbox. And it still has like every say like few hours, I'll get this weird. It goes one frame every 5 to 7 seconds. Like it's terribly
your PC is not any. It's not a slouch. What is it?
This is on Xbox.
Oh,
I'm not doing this on PC because I'm playing on console because of my friend, right? So this is on Xbox Series X, and I have to basically like try to somehow manage to go away from where I am to see if it'll come back to normal. It also has this habit of at about 3-ish hours, it just crashes. So
well, that's not good. Nothing nice is crap
sometimes
anyway.
It stays longer, but usually we just take it as a sign it's telling us to stop playing. So we just stop.
I could have told you that. I could have told you to stop playing that game.
But the game is still pretty good. The story's good. When it works pretty well. But it is kind of like the controls can be a little annoying. Like you get stuck on things, and then the grapple hook has a tendency to go backwards more than it goes forwards. And you're like,
what?
I have a green, it's like a white circle, whatever, right? It's there. That's where I want to go. I hit the button and you went that way. Why did you go that way instead of going? It just does this like all the time. And you're like,
stop playing that game.
It's frustrating.
Stop playing that game.
We're pretty close, so we're gonna finish it. It's still fun, so we're still finishing it up. But I think we're like on chapter 6 of 8 or something like that. So we'll finish it up.
Pray for you. I pray for you.
Yeah, then we'll probably go to Wolong and get through that one. We have so many games. Dead Island's coming out. It's already out now, or it's out today, right?
I've got it out thanks to Colt. It's like I haven't had a chance to play it. But there's a lot of games.
Decent, right? It's in the mid-70s meta, so that's pretty good.
It's okay. It didn't do as well as some of the hype. A lot of people were saying, I was listening to ACG and other people were like, hey, look, this is a lot better than we expected. And I was expecting, hey, possibly early 80s meta, but didn't hit there. Shout out to everyone in chat. 50 people for this little tiny, 60 people for this tiny channel. Colt Eastwood, Cult Classic Cage. She's a big fan of yours, Hoggy. Shout out to her. She is raw. I love her. Web Dave in the chat. Neil B, what's up? Fons says hi, Gaz and Geek. Doovie says Xbox is finished. Neil B is such a G. Nice to see you. Episode 13. You was watching the stream yesterday. So was Butch. It's always Butch. Why do they call it Butch? But Nariko, you know who you are. Raven, all of you in chat. Shout out to all of you. We're gonna get into it. What have I been playing? Well, no one cares. What have you know what games I've been playing, and you've been watching me stream yesterday. Sekiro was dank. Sekiro is such a good game. I'm so glad to it's good. It's like the first game that I'm really streaming, and it's such a good game. But yeah, Abdul, shout out to you, bro. He says feels like a party chat. It is a shame. One day I'll get Discord working, and then we can just get like people, viewers, just tune in, and then we get lit.
Yeah.
There's no Asa here. This is my stuff. No one can stop me. Oh, yeah. Oh man. There's so much I could do with that. I just did this 5 minutes ago. I'm going to put so many tunes on this going slow. I'm going to take the piss. So you people, what you came here for, the clickbait headline, which is not without reason, because that's, if you're frequenting Twitter, if you are like anywhere in social media in the gaming space, it's all negative. On Reset, well, Reset is a toilet, but and it's always been a toilet. But everyone is being just down in the dumps about Xbox and the brand, and you know what? Understandably so. Multitude of things have happened. You've had Redfall, the 30 frames per second. We are not going to spend time talking about the power thing. That has been done to death. But it's something we'll mention. So it's the power thing. Then Ghostwire comes out, which is a Xbox first-party game. That gets absolutely murked in terms of comparative performance and what's going on there. Then you've got PlayStation. The sales figures came out, and oh my god, PlayStation is dominating Xbox so hard. All I can hear is the Pornhub sound effect every time I look at the sales figures. You know which one it is. You know which one it is. You sick people. You sick, disgusting people.
Yikes.
PlayStation is dominating the crap out of Xbox in terms of sales. So that's been fun for the fanboys. Oh my god. If Xbox had those kind of figures and I could just lord it up over the ponies once, but god, that has been mad. But also interesting to watch the spectacle. And then today's been a very interesting day, Huggy. You're so lucky. Are you lucky? Maybe you are. You're lucky that you're not on social media. Because there's some stupidness out there, but they're also unlucky in the sense that you get to miss all the source. Because people, like this week, everyone's like, "Oh my god, Xbox is," and then PlayStation acquired their studio, and that was being used to dunk on Xbox. I'm like, which studio? Either way, today, Hi-Fi Rush, Jeff Grubb, shout out to him. Everyone's been go harder at him, and he's a credible insider, so. He's been hearing that Hi-Fi Rush didn't meet sales expectations, and he did admit that he should have worded it better. So some people, I watched the clip, right, Augie, and I'm like, that just seems like he's just talking generally about this game's performance, not really being anything determinative there. Like he's just saying that. Then Resetra made a thread about it. People went off with it like it was gospel, and well, stuff happened. Well, but let's just talk about this in sequence. First of all, the power narrative. You want to spend too long on it. But what I want to say is this: let's not focusing on the fact that Xbox dropped the ball with Redfall and Ghostwire. If you were Xbox or as a fan, what can Xbox do? As far as the power narrative is concerned. But let's be real, the power narrative was so important in the marketing drive. I've got clips of Phil Spencer saying, I feel really good about the power we have. We've had content creators, Cole Eastwood, everyone like going hard on the power, the tools, velocity architecture, and all this stuff. Every time I hear FSR, every time D-Batch says FSR on RDX, I want to book a flight to where he is at, and I want to fist his whatever that means. But not because he's wrong. I'm tired of hearing the excuses about tools. But it hasn't manifested itself. So one, I want to ask you, do you think it will be fixed and Xbox will come to a point where it's like the performance is finally showing this is a win? Or do you think it's an L?
I think it's never going to get fixed because the problem isn't the actual hardware or the tools. But the problem isn't that, because the majority of games still come out more performance on the Series X. It's perception. If you get 10 games that don't perform well, it's automatically all games do not perform well, and that's what we keep hearing. But that's the way it is. Too many?
Isn't one too many, let alone 10?
Right? It really comes down to perception. Like anything that looks bad will absolutely get amplified. And that's by the way, that's exactly what Sony wants, right? Because they've said it, right? In their disclosures, they're like, this is a big deal when Digital Foundry and VG Charts puts out performance numbers that show us better than Xbox, right? I'm not making that up. That's what they said, right? So they want this, right? And so I keep saying that they're pushing for this. And I keep saying that the marketed games from Sony tend to have this issue.
Don't do it!
You don't want to believe me. But it's like, fine, don't believe me. It's like every time this happens, it's always marketed by Sony. But fine, don't believe me. And then there's like one or two exceptions where it just doesn't, like Redfall, that's just a choice and that's stupid. I think that's dumb, right? They should just wait and release
Ghostwire?
But Ghostwire is marketed by Sony. Did you forget? It was fucking
owned by freaking Microsoft, Hoggy.
It's the same problem. Deathloop did the same thing. It didn't run better on Xbox.
So you think Microsoft sat there, like, the developers are like, hey, we own this studio, but we can't make it better.
Let's even take those and put them aside, right?
Okay, fine.
And let's say that's not the case. It won't matter. There will always be games that are not going to be optimized for Series X. That's going to happen. And it will always be the narrative. See nope, that console just doesn't have the ability to do it. Nope. It doesn't have 12 teraflops. It has 2 teraflops. It is what it is. Nope. Like, okay, dude, like the other 100 games that came out, they're all running better, but that never gets mentioned. The problem is always the noise.
It's the frame rate, man. And nowadays, no one gives a shit about resolution, bro.
Well, the frame rate was a choice because VRR existed first on Xbox. And so they're like, we can just bump up the res. The frame might dip a little bit, but who cares? You got VRR. And anybody who's running things at 120 or over 60 on a 4K TV, you don't have VRR? Like, I'm sure there's like some TVs like that, but really? So they're like,
Microsoft hedged their bets on VRR.
It's not Microsoft. Remember, it's not Microsoft. It's not Microsoft. It's third parties. They have a choice to make, right? They have to invest time. And they're like, gee, I'd rather show it better. And then, the frame rate might dip, but you have VRR. So why does it matter, right? So, and that's a choice, right? It's a choice they make, right? Is it a good one? I don't know, right? There's also checkerboarding, which is a great thing that Sony does, right? Is checkerboarding. So it looks better, right? There is a higher res perception than it actually is, but that is a feature, right? So I don't think this is ever going to change. You should just accept that you will always have this narrative. They would have to be like 100 teraflops and just smoke PlayStation. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a thing. At the 2 teraflop differential, you're just not going to see it. The difference is going to be a few hundred lines of resolution. That's really it.
Oh, that's an L for Xbox,
I guess, right? And if it is an L, it's an L.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever. But
that's what I'm saying. I've conceded to the L.
That's always going to be.
Well,
right?
I say I've conceded to the L, but I've always said it's like the PlayStation 3 generation. The PS3 actually started to outshine the weaker 360.
It should have. It should have, right? Yeah. It was more powerful.
But that was third parties and harder to develop architecture. Cell architecture, as we know, was an absolute nightmare. This is the same situation. The only thing is, the only saving grace for Xbox in this power narrative isn't in comparative multiplats for whatever reason. You might see it in the PS3 gen. Late at the end, PS3 games started to outperform. But they were so minute considering all the multiplats that started that performed better on 360. Yep. So you might see Xbox eke out at the end of the generation as far as
feature is mesh shaders, and I just don't see them ever getting adopted. I don't think it's going to happen.
So all these buzzwords.
What was that?
All these buzzwords, mesh shaders, FSR, blah, 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 all down the toilet.
So when it's used, it's a factor of 10 more frames. So it's a lot of power, right? But the problem is you can't have both. So you can't put it on an RTX 20 series card or an older AMD card and have mesh shaders. You have to have the game would have to be developed for that and this. And that is the problem, right? So RTX 30 series, so 3070s, 3080s, all that, plus the 4000 series do mesh shaders. AMD's latest it has to be RDNA 2, right? Does mesh shaders. And that is the problem. There's just too few of them out there, and developers are not going to focus on it until all the old hardware is gone and the PlayStation 5 is gone. And so you're just never going to take advantage of it, unfortunately, right? But that would have been another way to take advantage of the power. So the power is there, but it's never going to get used. Now, the company that could use it is, Microsoft. And right now, I have about zero faith that they will do something.
That's the hell. Right? It's like all the confidence is
they could do it, right? They could do it, but are they going to do it, right? I don't know that they
That's
are,
the question.
So, right? And like if Xbox came out in the June showcase and said, we are going to take advantage of all the features in this game, right? So you can see this game. They haven't done that yet, right? None of the games, we haven't even seen when Forza's coming out, and I haven't seen any gameplay for Forza on Series X. I haven't. It's all been on PC, right? Yeah. So do we know it's going to work? So
I'm more confident in 10, right? But I can't. At the moment, my confidence is shot in Xbox in terms of power.
That's the thing. Until they deliver, it's like, well, how do I know, right? So, they are the one company that should do that, right? So if you're exclusive to Xbox, you should do that. Take advantage of all the features, but they're not, right? How many are using Velocity Architecture? I've never heard of anybody using it. Why?
I don't know. I think the first parties will. 10 will. I think they are.
I don't know. We'll see. Right?
Yeah.
But this is the thing, right? They have SFS, which is part of the Velocity Architecture, which that takes pieces of information as needed, right? There's all sorts of things that just haven't done anything with it. I know they keep talking about FSR, but that's so you
don't think Xbox?
But there's so many other things they could do to take advantage of the actual silicon. It's like,
but you don't think they will. That? But that's the takeaway from it.
Until they show it to me, I just don't believe it, because everything up to now has not done it, right? But to be fair, everything up to now has also been cross-gen. So fine.
More or less. Yeah.
Redfall is not doing it. If it could, obviously 30 frames wouldn't have been an issue, so it's not doing it.
I think it's the co-op design. I think it's the same thing. Maybe, Gotham Knights had the problem. Right, they have no tether on a co-op. That design has the same philosophy as Gotham Knights. That's why it's running at 30. How are they going to fix that? 60? Yeah.
Plague Tale also came out 30, and I don't know what the deal is. That was also next gen only, right? I don't know how many next gen only games have really come out at 60 or higher. Demon Souls, but I suppose you could just say, hey, that was really an old gen game that they just decided we're only going to put on next gen, because there was really nothing there that was really next gen, right? It was just very well done as a remake.
I said that, and Air Cuts for the win killed me, although I played it very early on. It does look nice. I'm not saying it doesn't look nice.
I think the next gen feature, that was the frames, right? The box had enough power to be able to push it to 60, right? Which is great.
And it did get sheen.
It wasn't visually that much of a departure from a PS4 Pro, but it's good. Nice. And they've had Ratchet and Clank, and I think that had 60, right? I'm pretty sure that had 60.
It had a multitude of performance
but none of these games really push the boundaries to next gen. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. True. So up to now, the next gen-ish games have all been 30, which is kind of concerning. I'm still very concerned about UE5. I know we have a mode now that allows 60, but UE5, the only thing we've seen, Fortnite exception, because it's not running in high graphics, it's the Matrix demo, and that was 24 frames. So are we
and
sure
it was performing better on PlayStation as well? You've got a Series X trailer playing in the background. If you're worried about Unreal Engine, it's that little potato box running it. No? Oh yes.
Which would you mean, the Series S or the Series X?
Series S running
I mean, it'll run it. It's fine, right? They've got it going. It's all the problem is the 60. I just don't know because the way they've done it so far is in UE5, it'll give you a 60. It just turns off all the cool features. Yeah. So it takes away Lumen, it takes away Nanite, right? And says, okay, we'll just fall back for you automatically. So it's just going to look like an old gen game. It's like, well, okay, but then am I really next gen? So I'm sacrificing all the next genness to get 60 FPS. So I'm back to an Xbox One box. Right? And it's like, well, okay, but so I don't know. We'll see where it goes, right? So I would be worried about Hellblade. I don't know that they will come with 60.
He's worried, everybody.
Right? Because I'm just saying, look at the graphics they're showing, right? I just think, you should expect 30, right? Until they show me 60, I'm going to expect 30. Right? UE5 hasn't proven itself yet, so we'll see. Is Dead Island 2 UE5 or UE4?
I have no idea.
Okay, so I think one of the games that's coming up is going to be UE5, so we'll see if that one does something. We really haven't seen a lot of the UE5 stuff yet, so I don't know. I'm a little concerned there, but we'll see. Hopefully they will give you that 60 FPS, but it will sacrifice all the new cool, capabilities. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. This power narrative, though, it's never going away. It's never going to go away.
That's a fat, gigantic L. I do feel this is what I see happening. The thing is, the visuals can also be very subjective in terms of what looks good. And it will be the battle of exclusives. And Microsoft will need to invest in games that make visuals look pop. PlayStation exclusives, there tend to be more linear third-person type of games. Those lend themselves well to better visuals. Look at Hellblade 2 as an example on Xbox. And that looks like it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, so it's not even proprietary engine. So it kind of takes away a little of like the accolade, if you will. But then you've got Forza Motorsport, which will... By the way, I played Gran Turismo 7 today for the first time. Holy shit. The worst intro ever in a racing game. It is the first race, the menus, the Sarah woman talking to me, like texting us. I recorded it. I was playing it. Sorry, I just spat on my mic. I was playing it. And then I was like, this is so dumb. Why can't I skip this cutscene? It's like 10 minutes. And driving the car, you have this choice. You have 200 credits to buy this, or 20 credits or whatever, to buy this shitty little iGo or something. I ended up, and it sounded like I was driving a vacuum cleaner in an oval freaking stadium. I was like, bruh, what the flip is this game? This game got 86 whatever meta. Forza better destroy that game. Soulless is exactly what I would describe, Cole. Despite the intro, some people be like, oh no, you don't understand racing pedigree and the history behind. The trailer didn't even do a good job of doing it. If you're going to make it unskippable, then make it good. It was so shit.
The Forza Horizon 5 intro was actually pretty entertaining. It was pretty good. Like back and forth, different areas, like just cut, boom. Like it was pretty good.
So all the Forza intros are so good. You had one with Jeremy Clarkson there. I was like hyped. I'm like, this is sick. Forza Horizon, even the first one with the trailer vibes, the festival vibes. If you've ever been in the car scene and then the convoy scene, it hit the nail so well. And then you got freaking, what's it called? Gran Turismo 7. Everyone's like, no, this is in-game footage, actually. It looks like shit. It looks like ass. Anyone who caps for Gran Turismo 7, other than VR mode, visually, it looks like ass. Grey Wolf says, hey, Gaz, would you like me to name the first-party games they got this year? It's way more than Sony. Well, we know
again, that. Whataboutisms just aren't useful, right? Because, look, Sony did not come out and say that the PlayStation 5 is the most powerful console, right? They also didn't put out that all games will be baseline 60 FPS. So I don't think that we need to really do whataboutisms on what they do and what their games are. They've already got a proven track record. They have like plenty of games last year, and they still have Spider-Man 2, which forget about it, it's still a big game. You just can't deny that. It's a big game, right? So I wouldn't worry about that. And they're going to have a smoking, ridiculously awesome freaking showcase in what assumingly around the June timeframe. And it's going to show you like mic drop moment after mic. They do this all the time. There's nothing new here. We already know about Silent Hill only because freaking Konami's like, I don't want to keep my mouth shut, and I'm telling you they're making that, and that's just one game, and you know they've got mic drop after. Come on.
So are you going to buy your PlayStation 5 again?
15 games that are going to like blow your mind. Like I'm not worried about them. Like,
but are you going to buy a PS5 again?
No. I sold my PS5 because they told me that they're going to be multi-plat and put their games on PC, right? Because I just can't take their controller. My hands just somehow it just doesn't work. I tried.
So I actually really like this controller. This is the first PlayStation controller.
My hands just get achy like after like 15-20 minutes, and I'm like, I'm just done.
I've never played it for that long.
The battery doesn't last a lot. Oh, I'm sorry.
I assume the PlayStation controller is good for long-term play. But I don't know. That's not because of me. It's the battery runs out. That's why.
Well, there's that. Anywho. But yeah, so I'll just play their games on PC. No big deal there, right?
But the Summer Showcase event, look, well, we'll park it to another side. With the Summer Showcase event, I'll bring that right at the end because that's so important about what Xbox can do right now. Xbox is getting clapped so hard, bruv. It is quite crazy to witness. But the doom and gloom about the brand is so overstated, in my opinion. Like, the brand is going to die. And I'm like, oh, this is worse than the Xbox One generation. And I'm like, you're really stretching your arsehole out here to really fit this narrative, like, deeper into it. And then they're doubling down on it. Then they're like, I've seen people like, Phil Spencer was the biggest mistake for Xbox. I'm like, you know damn well. The only people saying that are PlayStation fanboys, and
of course
they know that. I mean, okay, I'm not saying Phil Spencer's doing a stellar job now, but that guy saved Xbox. He did save Xbox. But before we go into that and the fake narratives from PlayStation fanboys, I mean, fair play to them. It's part of the source, Huggy. Xbox gets the benefit of the doubt. Well, it doesn't. From some hardcore fans, it does. People like me and you, we'll always call it out. We always have. It's just part of the Xbox DNA. We just get shat on all the time. But at some point, someone at management has to be held accountable for what I consider the series of failures that the brand has endured. The power narrative we've just talked about is an L. We've talked about the Summer Showcase where you have far more confidence in PlayStation delivering than Xbox. And their first-party performance isn't that great. Their promises they can't keep. They can't keep their 12-month promises. Forza's obviously slipped that 12-month date. We haven't even seen the game, let alone whatever. So Redfall is coming out in 2 weeks? There's no marketing for that game. There's no marketing. They've just shut up and end up signing. And I'm hearing that all these invites have been cancelled for. There was supposed to be another Redfall invite. What's going on there? Either way, that's flopped. And we haven't even seen much of their roadmap. Well, we haven't seen the gameplay of these games. Ultimately, PlayStation is beating the shit out of it by some 369 to 400%. And Xbox sales actually dipped. PlayStation is going or has achieved the point where Xbox is going to struggle to make a dent again. And this is why I was so annoyed at them losing the momentum last gen. So, Huggy, who needs to get fired? Does someone need to get fired? Who would you blame? Who would you point your fingers at?
Who would I blame? I mean, most of what I see is messaging. There's definitely a messaging thing, and there's a marketing thing. And, I don't know if, like, budget-wise, they specifically don't want to market their games, because there's a flip side to this, right? Games that go into Game Pass tend to do well enough, and that has been proven over and over again, and therefore their marketing is like, well, we have Game Pass. And that's fair to a point. It's fair to a point, right? But it does have this potential of, well, you're never then going to market anything outside of the games that go into Game Pass, right? So you're not going to go get Hogwarts Legacy and market that game because it's not going into Game Pass, right? So that means you would never do marketing, and you would have to do what Sony did, which is market the hell out of it, right? You'd have to spend money, right? You'd have to actually go out and do the marketing. which is not something they're doing. And the question is that a good plan or a bad plan? This could be their marketing budget. Game Pass could be their marketing budget, right? They just take their marketing budget and plow it into Game Pass and say, well, that's how we're going to be able to make that affordable. Okay, maybe that's what they're doing. Okay, fair enough, right? But that isn't necessarily great if you want to sell your brand and expand it, right? So they have to kind of figure out what to do there, right? So, and maybe they've got the formula to do that. I don't know, right? So maybe they know what their plan is to go from 30-ish million subs to 100 million subs, right? And this is what it's going to take. And the plan is buy ABK, buy the next publisher, and then you automatically have so much content, people will just come to you. Okay, maybe that's the thing. I don't know, right? But you think that you'd have to somehow enable engagement. People still don't know about it, and it's like, well, that really shouldn't be the case if you're a gamer, right? Now fair enough though. When you buy COD, once it's part of Game Pass, you will get that messaging because it'll have the logo there, right? And then maybe you'll look it up and say, okay, what does that mean? Oh, wait, I don't have to pay to buy this game. I can just rent it for a couple months. Wow. Okay, that's kind of cool. I get all these other games too. Wait, it's got the EA stuff? Wait, hold on. What's going on here, right? Maybe you'll do that, right? And that might be the way they want to go. Word of mouth. You find out by picking up a game that happens to be an Xbox game and it tells you about it. I'm like, okay, that's a way to go. But I don't know. I think that part, it's a massive departure from where they were going before. And I don't know if that's the direction they just want to keep going on. And if that's working for them, fair enough. But
Replicant says, I think Xbox leans too heavily on Game Pass. What do you say to that?
I mean, I'm saying that's the only thing they're doing, right?
They're not even, I know, but I know you are.
That's it. I don't.
They're fully relying on it.
They're not.
Replicant agrees with you.
Stuff, right?
Which is stupid. It's just short-sighted. Don't you agree?
It may be. It may not be. I mean, I'm not running the multi-trillion-dollar company. I think to expand your brand, you have to do it. Right? I think you have to advertise. I think you have to market. But maybe they're finding different avenues to do that. But it's not working. Like
there you go. That's the answer. It's not working. Right? So then they should stop.
I mean, I think you need to kind of figure out how you can do better. Fire, I don't know who you need to fire, but I think you need to change your strategy, right? So what you're doing and saying that this is how we market, I don't see that being a long-term
There's no
winning
marketing.
Strategy.
When Hi-Fi Rush, even if it didn't meet sales targets, what they shadow dropped the game. It had natural buzz around it within the Xbox sphere, Twitter sphere, and some people on PC. But that does not mean you stop advertising the game. Yeah. You just carry on. Shout out to Toolman, everybody in chat, by the way. So I am keeping an eye on everything. So, but thank you. Shout out to 130 people. Oh shit, bro! Come on.
Nice.
We have to. This is a tiny channel, and we got over a century. Come on, get on!
I have no idea how to dance, dude. So you're on your own, bro.
I'll do it.
Enjoy.
Punjabi MC in the house. Come on, everybody in chat. Put your hands up. Let's go. Friday night. It's Eid. I'm gonna get up, bro.
That's awesome. Nice. And now back to our normal movie. This is just like a Bollywood movie, right? First we have normal stuff, and then suddenly we break into song and dance.
And then it's like a Bollywood movie. They just zoom into everyone's faces, like boom. What did you say? Boom. 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 Kya bola? Yeah, and then someone's mum slaps someone all the time.
In slow motion.
Who entertains you like that, chat?
Look, I think that, as far as going back to this marketing thing, I think they leverage Twitch streamers and content creators more than they actually do any actual marketing. So, I mean, that's just part and parcel of what they've been doing lately. I don't know. It's an interesting move. It's an interesting way to go. They have their own podcast as well. It doesn't get that much engagement, so I don't know. I think they need to kind of do a bit more traditional stuff too. But there's also the problem of like, is traditional like advertising still a thing? I don't watch any ads, so I have not seen an ad for 5-6 years.
It's not that I go out to watch ads. I see PlayStation ads all the time. I'm going out, I see a PSVR ad, which is weird because I thought that was one of the least marketed things from Sony, and I still see that ad. I see ads all the time. I can hear the PlayStation logo in my head on TV. I can hear it. I can very rarely hear an Xbox One. And this week, they're so tone deaf. I couldn't believe it. What does Xbox do? Just marketing controller. Another controller. At this point, Xbox has more controllers than games. It's like, what are you doing? And the marketing is so important. I don't understand. It's been a problem for, someone said it in chat, and you're absolutely right. It's been a decade-old problem of Xbox. They just don't get it. They see these, and you hit the nail on the head there. Twitch marketer. Oh, let me give it to Ninja because he's a big boy, isn't he? He plays that Fortnite game, yeah. Let me just give it to him, yeah. And then like he's there on advertising Samsung TVs. You don't even need an Xbox. All right, just shit on my chest. And Huggy, on that point of defecating on my chest, do you feel? Because I feel this way. I feel Xbox treats its core loyal, faithful audience, the console audience, second-class citizens now. Like they always focus on PC, like the Xbox Game Pass, PC, this and that. I'm like, what are you doing for the people that actually make you successful? It is always the console people, despite all their
I don't know if it's always, but they did make a shift, and they told us they were going to make a shift, right? So a while back, it was always console, and the PC, folks were saying, "Yeah, you weren't serious on PC, so go away," right? And so, like, okay, fine, we're going to make a concerted effort to be, to actually focus on the PC market, and they've gotten there. They've done a lot to make it better. They have a ways to go still, but it's way better than it used to be, right? So, but that does now showcase. If you think that they're giving up on the console, that they've succeeded in moving to PC as a serious platform, right? So I don't know that it's a second-class, platform. The problem is you're always going to see these pushes for heavy graphics, and heavy graphics will push down performance. That's just the way it goes. And then when you see that happen, you're like, but the PC runs it that way. Yeah, the PC that's like 6 times more expensive. So, okay, that's fine. But like, you're not spending that 6 times as much. If you want to, feel free to do so, and you can get that performance, right? But is it worth it for 6 times the cost? To some it is. I don't care. I'll go pay it. But the console
eats monsters for breakfast. So. Yeah, it can't even eat freaking cereal for breakfast, bro, because this console is struggling. DVR, that's a good shout from KR and Shaggers. When was the last time Microsoft spent money to improve the game DVR on consoles? Mate, Dealer and Colt have been asking.
Was it mid last year?
Well, I'll tell you what they updated.
They actually did some updates,
Well, they updated yesterday and removed straight uploading to Twitter because they don't want to pay the $49,000.
We know about that controversy, right? That's the APIs. They're not. They're not paying for the API.
It's Elon Musk. But yeah, I mean, it's just.
No, I think it's like petty. Like, is it really that much for somebody like Microsoft to pay that? I'm like, okay, fine,
it's not even like a drop of piss for them.
It's like $500,000.
But it's more of a policy decision. I think it's more political, and I think a lot of companies aren't paying for it. PlayStation
why
is
should
not.
Your rival make money?
yeah, exactly.
Good job, Microsoft.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It is stupid. But yeah, well, what can you do? So the marketing is a flop. The power is a flop. And we've got the event which we'll talk about. Today, we saw Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush was getting... So poor Jeff Grubb. He said he heard that the sales expectations of this game weren't high, and everyone went on it and said, see, Game Pass is killing gaming. No one is doing this, blah, blah, blah. Well, like I say, no one advertised Hi-Fi Rush. It's part of the bad marketing. No one's advertising Redfall. The only advertising we've got is all the negative shit about its performance. Anytime you go into a Twitter thread where Redfall tweets some like stupid CGI segment from the game, which is like, why you're not showing the game? Well, the comment is like, is this at 30 frames? This is 60 FPS. So like it's all an L there. But this point on a Hi-Fi Rush and Jeff Grubb, he made this comment, and then all of a sudden, so let me read the thread from. Well, it's a clip from Jeff Grubb's Game Mess. You can check it out. And it's doing the rounds on social media. And then Grubb tried to clarify. He says, I was just trying to say that I heard Hi-Fi Rush didn't make the money it was expected to make. But to be clear, I don't really know how Microsoft measures success. This was just a small passing statement, which it didn't read like that because I'm listening to it. I'm like, someone made an article or a thread on this? Passing statement in a larger conversation. I wasn't meant to make people worry about it. So then Aaron Greenberg comes out. He goes, Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout success for us, a hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with the team at Tango Gameworks. They delivered a surprise release. Tango Gameworks, immediately after launch, also said something similar. And Tango Gameworks today or yesterday announced they're hiring 150 people plus. I saw J-Dub on Twitter say, "Oh, check out Forspoken charted, so that's a success." I'm like, the studio shut down as a result of Forspoken being absolutely shit. You cannot spin that. It's such a weird flex. But shout out to him. And then Jeff Grubb took a double back on it. And he says, I shouldn't have said needed. I don't know what it needed to do. The conversation we were having was about the generating revenue, and the game didn't hit the sales target, is basically what he's talking about. But no matter what, his words, Horizon Forbidden, HFR, Hi-Fi Rush, isn't a flop, and Tango's future is bright. Which is fine, which is obvious to anyone watching. They delivered a quality game, and Microsoft can't turn away quality content.
And look, their engagement model is Game Pass, and even with that, it was charting on Steam, right? And that's not Game Pass. People were buying it there, and it was doing better than I believe it was doing better than Forspoken, right? It was actually selling, even though Forspoken was a $70 game. This was a $40 game. Was it $30-$40?
Which would have helped the sales.
It was still selling at higher revenue rates on Steam than Forspoken was, right? If I remember right, I believe that was accurate. And so it's like, well, it did well enough. And look, it's Hi-Fi Rush. This wasn't exactly going to sell like 30 million copies, right? So the fact that it got engagements of a few million, that's actually pretty good, right, for a game like this. So you have to kind of just put it in perspective. And I think they're very happy with what they got, right? So it got a lot of industry buzz, right? It got, for the time it had, it wasn't like it was going to last for 7 months. Hogwarts comes out and wipes out everything, right? That's the way it is. Those kind of games come out. That happens, right? And so you have to take that hit, right? So, and there's going to be another one coming up. Zelda's coming. No matter what else everybody wants to say, it's going to take the industry. It's going to happen. So
I pre-ordered it.
It's coming, right? And so, Redfall is going to get hit by that, whether it was going to do well or not.
Redfall's going to get buried. Let's call Redfall Midfall now. That's the 70s meta game.
Okay, it's a thought. Okay. But anyway, I don't think it's a problem. Like, from Microsoft's perspective, they pay for everything by having those subs. It's like the Game Pass subs handle all their people. It's not a problem for them. They're profitable with just that. On top of that, they sell extra stuff, right? So was there like a DLC pack for that? I think there was. I think I paid like extra for some DLC pack. It gave you extended capability.
Redfall?
So, no, not Redfall, for Hi-Fi Rush. It was pretty cheap. So I said, hey, what the heck, I'll pay for it. That's extra money that they just got, right? So and I don't know how many people did that, but so I don't think it's obviously it's not doing badly because they're happy with the results enough to expand the studio. A lot of people say
Aaron Greenberg is lying because his statement on the 60 frames being the base, I don't think that's a lie.
Right.
Like the results
that
of
is
Redfall
their base, right?
after
they
the
screwed
fact.
up, and that's a messaging issue.
It doesn't mean it's lying.
I think Jeff is probably accurate in some of his. He's a really good analyst, right? So I don't want to take anything away from that. I'm pretty sure he's accurate in what he's saying. So I'm sure that they had higher targets for sales, but they didn't hit those. But again, they probably got enough subs to offset that. They're like, this is good. We're happy. So whatever. And Aaron is always going to spin it to make it sound like everything is hunky-dory because that's his job, right?
That's his job,
we have to always read between the lines, right? You have to deal with that a little, they're going to have that marketing speak, right? So it is what it is, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There is that. But he did touch on something, which is, it has to be true, which is that he said that the Xbox management are not happy with the performance of Xbox so far. And that should be the case. That's like, well, Xbox is getting murked on all fronts at the moment. So now, as Xbox fans, assume I really don't have high hopes for Redfall now. I can't wait. I do want to play it. I really will. If I get a review code, I will give it its fair...
Well, I mean, we could do a review if you want. We could do something like that, right?
Yeah. I will do the, if I get the code, I will review it.
I'll wait till 6.
And I'll review it properly. I'll do it properly with the kind of like people like, guys, you're an Xbox fan. You would never review it properly. The bias. Shut the if you've seen my previous reviews, if Halo, I got the code for that. Enough said. Like I'm blocked by Halo now. That says a lot. Even like Forza, like the Horizon, I get a great game. Reviewed it very positively, but you will read the review if you want to critique my stuff. But my stuff will hold interrogation, including Redfall. And it's not like I go out of my way to critique it unnecessarily. That's the key word. I will. The way I'm very strict parameters with my reviews. If I do get the code for Redfall, then do check it out. You be the judge. You tell me if it's shit or if it's good. Well, if we get the review, we'll talk about it. But if you didn't get the review, you just said that, Hoggy. You said you would not play until it got 60 frame patch. A lot of people
say too much to play, and I'd rather play those games than play. So Redfall is another multiplayer game that I want to do. It's going to be a co-op game, right? As I said, I still got Wolong. I'm still finishing Gotham Knights. I got Wolong. We just got Dead Island, but let's say I push that off, right? I don't know when I need to specifically hit this one, right? Because I'm gonna hit Zelda, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna play this, and like I don't think I want to go play Redfall at that point.
I would like to complete it in a weekend, like do co-op with the cult and whatever, and then just call it a day.
I don't know how long it is, right? So generally, those games arcade games can be generally, they're not short. They're mid to big. So I would expect it to be in that 15 to 25 range. I don't know how grindy it is, right? That could expand it. It could make it less interesting too. Because that was what Suicide Squad did, right? So it got grindy and boring. So it all depends on how they make it work, right? So as long as it's fun, it's good. But if it can get, if it gets grindy, it'll get on your nerves, and it's like, I'm good, right? So the normal arcane games don't usually do that, right? They're very story driven, so it's usually pretty good. But
let's see how it goes. This is a divergence from Arcane's usual formula. So
it is.
The performance has really sucked away my anticipation for it, but that doesn't take away from the bits that I'm excited about, which I made a video about. Like, there's more to it than just Black for Blood clone. Let me see. IGN did a very bad job of showing the gameplay.
There's that.
So there's that as well. So I'm trying to. Well, in a way, I'm also let me play the game. You never know, people. You play it, and you like 30 frames or not. The base game is enjoyable. The enemy encounters are good. The level design is good. The visual fidelity, not in terms of raw visual fidelity, but the art style starts looking nice. You might like, hey, you know what? All this negativity for this game, all this negativity over frame rate, and I still enjoyed the underlying game. It's still co-op at launch. You can still have those experiences with your friends, which I've always said. This is primarily a co-op game, and I like that. That's for me personally, but I know everyone's different. So yeah, let's see what happens with Redfall. But shout out to 164 people watching. Oh, you know what? Come on, Huggy, you have to join me. Shut up. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the source. Spread the words like COVID. No, don't spread the word like COVID. Too soon? Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
Way too soon. I'm going to get cancelled before I even get monetized.
Oh my God.
I smashed the button. Did you? I didn't smash.
Clips
I didn't smash my
on
own
Twitter.
Channel.
COVID. Gaz makes fun of it. He thinks it's
I already had
joke.
that. I already had that from some absolute utter melt of a PlayStation content creator. He already, it's just so insensitive. I'm like, bro, I'm in the UK. We're out of COVID. All I said was dodging COVID as I'm in a music festival. And this guy's on my show. What a piece of shit. These kind of virtue signaling pricks, they deserve to get run over by cars. Virtually. virtually. And really. I don't give a shit about him. But yeah, there's so many dickheads in the space. There's so many cocks in the space. It's a sausage fest of smegma-ridden idiots. Goodness. Shut up. To that guy. But yeah, so look, the last bastion for Xbox, it's always about the games. And I always remember last year, but RDX was hilarious. I could just hear you try to be the voice of reason and calm everyone down. Emotions were so high on RDX. Fonz, I'm so grateful for Fonz. Fonz was like my spirit animal during this RDX. It's like, just do it, Vox. And Fonz would just go hard. And then D would come in and he was going hard. And freaking Dealer couldn't control these guys. Dealer's the granddaddy of like, his voice just controls everything. But he was like, stop it. He couldn't. It was just drowned by Fonz and D-Batch going, what the what's going on? It's like they were pissed. They were absolutely. It's pony fodder. They were loving it. The stables. You had your moment. It was bad. Like the stables were loving it, and fair play to them. If I was gifted that on PlayStation, or I have had these instances already this gen, I would love it. I would make a great source video, but not when it hits home, man. Not with RDX. These are my boys. But yeah, like the anger was there. It was palpable. Xbox fans are fed up. Only the most blinkered, constantly habitual excuse-making people were defending this. The same people came after me that came after Fonz. Remember that Ray guy? I made a diss track on him. He's there, obviously just gargling on Aaron Greenberg's sperm constantly. All these guys, I'm like, you don't understand. We've been in this space for over like 10, 15 years. I've been there from the start of Xbox, from magazines, forums. We're in the front lines. We have withstood the worst days of Xbox. And it comes to a point where you, as an Xbox fan, people don't get it. Like, Gaz, you're, what's it called? What's that stupid term? Americans using grifted, or that means you turned coat and went to the other side. I've been in this space for years, and I've been flip-flopping, grifting or something. It's like moving to the other side. Yeah. It's like, nah, like even with the Xbox One gen, if I couldn't in that shit gen move, still have my heart with Xbox, I'll always be there with Xbox. But you don't understand. It's a sign of maturity. I think these guys are new to this space or something. We've been here. I can show you, when I was looking like a little freaking prepubescent little shit on a podcast, making fun of Drive Club with my friend, another pony guy. We are arguing back and forth. It comes to a point where, as an Xbox fan, you just want more, and it's frankly just these statements, these dumb statements, even from Phil Spencer. We understand the importance of quality and consistency. Or if you understand it, show me. Because it's just stupid. It's just stupid. And I will say that. Like I would say to Phil Spencer's face, I would say that's why they'll never invite me to these things. And not it being in a dick. I would just be Phil, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you guys doing? And same, and Sony does a lot of fucking up things. Jim Ryan, Jim Ryan would probably punch me because I made so many memes of him. But the same goes for both companies. But Does that mean Xbox is dying? This is the bullshit. I was just like, what is going on? Like, we are critical. When I say fix up or just shut up, doesn't mean Xbox is dying. They've got 70 billion on the table. Company Microsoft has never spent that much money. This $1 trillion, one of the richest companies in the world, has never spent that much money, and it spends it on what? Gaming. Yeah, it spends it on gaming. Which is why the ponies hate ABK. That's the real reason. They don't care about COD. That is a full-on gut punch to their whole narrative. If ABK goes through, there is no... Xbox has now full impetus to really fix up. Now is the really, like, everyone sat in a data. Now it's a part of the... You know, their little pie chart of cloud gaming revenue, does this and that. Now you're going to see expenditure of upwards of 80 to 90 billion. Let's see, ZeniMax and more acquisitions come in. They're going to be like, we have to fix up. Gaming is such a key part of that pie now, of Microsoft pie. A big feature, not an afterthought. Not how Satya Nadella goes up to Phil Spencer just a few years ago, last gen. They said, you know, there's a space where we not really necessarily have to be in gaming. And it's Phil Spencer. God knows what he said. He said, we have to be all in on it. Let's double down on it. Phil Spencer is the GOAT. No matter how annoyed I get with his current management or how much I get annoyed, like he's tone deaf, Phil Spencer gets the benefit of the doubt, because without him, we wouldn't be talking about Xbox the way we are right now. There wouldn't be no Xbox. We would be talking about PlayStation is like, oh, Huggy, so did you get the mortgage to get that game? It's like $300 for a game, because Sony needs the competition. ABK will shift that. So don't fall for the like doom and gloom. Yes, there are targets. Yes, Xbox is flopping. ABK is going to happen. There are questions surrounding its management and whether they can successfully assimilate ABK in the Xbox team. They have problems. Xbox has problems, and so does ABK. I saved a tweet from a developer working at Blizzard, and it was like just pointing at management, and they've been doing it for years, by the way. Overwatch's team, this lady was like, it's just such a shit show. Microsoft is spending 70 billion to inherit COD, but also inherit a fat problem. ABK is going to be a project. This is what I'm trying to say to Colin Moriarty. Is like, it's not like it's PlayStation money hats. That's it. Throws money. Games are exclusive on our console. Microsoft puts its money down, it's buying its way in, but it's also owning the problem, which it needs to fix to then justify to its shareholders. It's not an afterthought. That's where Xbox will start to fit in. But as gamers, Huggy, this summer showcase, it is so important. And if people thought I was insufferable before, I'll be insufferable if Xbox don't deliver what I think should be a fucking stellar show. It has to be. I don't give a shit about the ABK deal. Lena Khan can get there's nothing to do with Lena Khan. She's getting murked by Congress, scrutiny, there's then court, blah, blah, blah. Don't give me that shit. Now, everyone in chat, 170 people, not Alex, not Anna, what's his name? The pony in chat. But everyone else, apart from Critopsy and all the other pony in the chat, every Xbox fan needs to be demanding of quality. Demand it, and obviously subjective, but they need to smash out. Let's just agree on the parameters here, Huggy. They need to deliver. They need to show us what these studios are doing. If they're not going to show Perfect Dark, I'm going to be like, If they're not going to show Fable, I'm going to be like, I'm just asking you to show you. I'm like, at this point, I'm not even asking for a freaking release date. Show me the game. Show me what you've been working on. Just show me Avowed. Show me these games. But then one or two, they show you Avowed and they show you a little bit of Fable. Like, yeah, Xbox showed it. What more do you want, guys? No. They need to show. They've announced these games ages ago. We need to see more Hellblade. We need to see more Avowed. We need to see Perfect Dark, like State of Decay. Like, show us more and a couple of more. You need to be unrelenting with Xbox, people. I hope you agree with me, Augie. Or do you think it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things? Because I think you think
no. They like it's best if everybody brings it, right? So if Sony's gonna bring it, which they will, you kind of need Xbox to do the same thing. The problem, I don't think they will. And like, so
you don't think they will?
I don't think they will. And look, the problem I see is Game Pass in this specific instance. And why I say that is I want them to go bring GTA 6 and put it on the stage. I want them to go get Cyberpunk and put it on the stage. They're not going to do that anymore, right? Because Game Pass is the answer. Cyberpunk wasn't in Game Pass. That's probably the last big game you're going to see marketed by them. They've stopped doing it. They don't do it anymore, right? You got to go out and get these games and market it, right? And if they get GTA 6 marketed by them, that's a big deal, right? But are they going to do it? It's not going to go to Game Pass, right? They've already said that. Take-Two doesn't want to do day-and-date Game Pass, right? So, but they should market it, right? Are they going to go spend that money, right? That's been my problem. Their marketing budget is non-existent. They just don't do it, which sucks, right? I want them to do what Sony's doing and saying these games are going to be on, with maybe even exclusive content on freaking, Xbox for 3 months. You're going to get the best stuff here. Right? Do whatever. You got to compete with whatever Sony's doing, right? So they're not going to do any of that, right? So Phil hates that stuff, and that's fair. I get it, but you also still need to market. You need to go get big games like Hogwarts Legacy. You need to get those kind of games and say they're coming to the platform, right? And then you don't have everybody saying, "Well, that's actually not on Xbox, right? That's only on PlayStation." No, it's everywhere, but Sony has marketed it such that it says it's exclusive to PlayStation 5. And therefore nobody thinks it's actually anywhere else. Like, no, it's literally the Switch will be getting that game. So, but that's marketing, right? So now it's deceptive, but that's what marketing is. So you have to either play that game or not. And I don't think they're going to play that game. I think they're going to show you like 40 indie games, and they're going to show you like 5 AAA games. This is their formula. Right?
Okay, formula. Phil, if you're listening to this shit formula.
Right? I want what you want, right? I want them to say, look at the kick-ass shit you're going to get in the next 18 months, right? And don't put 18 months, but it's just over the next year.
Not the 18 months, 12, 18,
right? Here's what's coming, right? And they don't have to give a date, but basically that's their roadmap, right? This is what Avowed is looking like. It's about mid-year next year. This is what Hellblade's looking like. It's either end of year or beginning of next year, right? This is what Fable's looking like. It's end of next year, right? And here's what you got. Yeah. So, but that's the thing, and so I don't know when it's coming, whatever, or Perfect Dark for that matter, right? So they've shown us a whole bunch of like CG trailers or State of Decay. We got what was it? The game from Contraband, right? We got that coming out at some point, right?
So I don't know what that's hiring concept artists for that.
We got a mini CG trailer for Indiana Jones. I don't know when that comes, whatever, right? So
that game.
At this point, Forza Motorsport is probably going to show up again at the
Bro, oh my god. If they show Forza, they spend that 90 minutes showing Forza. Why are you just destroying my hype for freaking the summer showcase? And you know what? You are absolutely right.
But they're going
they will show Forza. Here's 20 minutes of Forza.
Mic drop, right? It's like we got exclusive, I don't know, pick the next, like Ninja Gaiden is coming out exclusive. Xbox, boom, right? Shout. But they're not gonna do it.
Fucking hell, man.
But hopefully they do have 1 or 2 surprises like that. That would be fantastic, right? But they just don't do it. They just don't. They're all about the exclusive. It's in Game Pass. They don't go get the contract to say, hey, Wolong, it's going to be on Xbox for 2 years, right? They're not doing that, right? So, the other side, they what was it? It's Ronin. Rise of the Ronin, right? Same company, but that game is exclusive to Sony.
Bro, this is the thing. Right? We got Wolong as on a Game Pass game.
With Wolong.
I know. It's a freaking Game Pass game. Rise of the Ronin looks amazing.
That's what you get.
This is it. The PlayStation know how to do it.
It's going to be mic drop.
Fucking useless.
It'd be awesome if they said, hey, here's the next Yakuza game, and it will be an exclusive on Game Pass and Xbox for a year, right? That's not going to happen, though, because the next marketing has been PlayStation. It's back to PlayStation.
fair, I'm not a fan of like. I mean, comparatively, just embarrassing for Xbox because Rise of the Ronin looks amazing, but I'm not a fan of third-party money hunting. I've never been. So, like, celebrating that.
I get that, but this is the problem.
Yeah.
That's what they get, right? KOTOR.
But yeah.
KOTOR comes out exclusive PlayStation.
Well,
is that a mic drop or is that a mic drop? It's a mic drop.
That is a mic drop. That was a mic drop until we found out what happened. They scaled back development back to the drawing board.
But you see my point, right? So like
Stellar Blade, you just took it under Microsoft. Now it's exclusive to freaking like holy shit, man.
I don't know.
Like,
so
what are you
that's
doing?
what I see. I don't know. I mean, if Phil ever watches this, you kind of need to respond, right? So I know your answer is our mic drop. Oh, they like to go get like Final Fantasy games. Hey, we just bought Square Enix. There's my mic drop. Okay, that is a big mic drop. Fair enough, right? But
oh my god,
that's like another 18-month, headache that we have to then go through of like back and forth. Did they get it yet? No. Oh, there's this stupid legal challenge and right.
Yeah, I know. But that doesn't paralyze them. Right? Like even Stellar Blade. PlayStation has an eye for good games as well. Like and nurturing
not
good
all the
deals.
time, but they have better ones, right? Yeah, not all the time. Well, sometimes they get some stinkers. It happens, right? But fair enough.
And the other game, that Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo game,
not going after anything with an IP, behind it, a Marvel thing, a DC thing, what they just don't touch them, right? They're toxic. They're like, we're not touching that stuff. It's like, well, okay, but then you're gonna leave that market to somebody else, and that might end up being your competitor. You have to kind of look at that. So I just don't. I mean, I'd love to be wrong about that, but having watched several of these. It just seems to go in succession. It's Game Pass games and maybe 2-3 other things, and that's really it, right? And if that's what you're going to get, I don't know that they're going to get a massive AAA third-party exclusive, announcement. I don't know. Do you see that happening?
Well, I think it should happen. I think we should demand it. I don't want to. Yeah. I get where you're coming from. And you're probably right the way they will go about it. But I don't want to hear it. Not from you, but I don't want to hear it from Microsoft as a viable or.
I'd love to hear those big announcements, man. It's like we're redoing. Well, let's reboot Dead Rising. We're rebooting Dead Rising, and it's exclusive. And that was an exclusive series on Xbox until 4, right? So yeah. It's got an association. Like we're bringing it back, right? Okay, fine, cool, something, anything.
yeah. I mean, I am not. Like, I'll clarify. I hate third-party multi-plat deals, especially when anyone does it. It's even Microsoft. I've been very scathing about it. But when PlayStation does this as its mantra, as it does it all the time, from the beginning of its its footsteps in this industry to now, it's doubling down on it. Then Microsoft has no choice but to respond. I hate it, but that's a symptom of this.
And that's a fair thing, right? So what Phil has said is fine. I'll do what you want, Gaz, and not do that. But then the opposite is I have to go buy somebody, right? Because that's the only way I get exclusives, right?
And that's fine. That's fine.
What they've been doing, right?
Now, I also want to buy the studios to build games, man. 2018 was time ago. I need to see what these studios are doing. Yeah. Bro, I need to see what Hellblade 2 was revealed with the console. Like, what is going on with this game? Like, people need to ask if it doesn't come up in the showcase. Like, I think I'm being a bit generous here, where I'm saying, okay, don't worry about the release date. Just show me some actual gameplay, not like a thingy gameplay. But if they don't show that, and they don't show these first-party games, and it is all these indies, then it's gonna be like, oh, that's it. Phil Spencer. This is a BB gun. It's a fake gun before you forget that. But it's like, fuck. Just, I don't know. It's just so frustrating. It just feels like younger me would have said the same thing, which I did. If you clip it, I was just like, oh, Xbox so shit. And then Xbox will do something really good one year, and you're like, oh, they're starting to. No, they're not. It's just like, what the flip is going on? Like, and for Xbox fans, new people to the space, remember, this is Xbox's way of dealing with things. It'll always mess up. Always. It has this tremendous affinity with screwing up. So yeah, by the way, Colt says send that to Jason. You know what, Colt? I sent a video to Jason Ronald with this like BB gun. Like here, it is a BB gun before anyone like tries to. It's a plastic gun. But I sent a DM to Jason Ronald. You know, I wish I could play it. If you wouldn't believe me, I was like, just me, red light. I turned the red lights on here, and I was just like, in the studio, like in my mobile phone footage, and I was like, Jason, yeah, so no 60 frames on Redfall, and then Ghostwire, what the fuck? It's just, that's what I sent to Jason Ronald in DMs. No response. Normally he responds almost immediately, but he was just like, what the fuck? I followed this guy. Who is this clown? I will share it maybe on Twitter. But if you saw that, you're like, okay, that's fucked up. But you know, that's me. But like, it's just frustrating. And I like the fact that
Xbox. So what do you think is going to be at the showcase? What do you think they're going to do?
What do I think they're gonna? Well, you kind of summed up what you think they're gonna do, and I'm praying to God. Look, it's Eid. God bless me with a good showcase for Xbox where I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, let me be happy. I fasted for a month. What I want them to show, what I want Xbox to show is how many they did show Hellblade. Then if they showed Hellblade to footage, preferably with a release date if they can meet it, although don't commit to dates if you can't do it. If it shows well, Hellblade, they need to show. Avowed, if Jeff Grubb, Jess Corden has seen like the footage, alpha footage, but 2 years ago, we need to see some gameplay for that. You've shown that ages ago. Fable, I think, is miles away. Even though development actually started in 2018, I think it's miles away. There are some problems with the engine, whatever. It's scaled back. No, I'll shut up about that. Yeah. Eid Mubarak, Abdul. Nice to see you, man. So that's going to happen. And, okay, so that's fine. Then maybe Indiana Jones, which is probably going to be a multi-plat because of existing contractual obligations with Sony. Still, it's a first-party game. Fine. Show us a couple more. What Compulsion is doing. Because Compulsion's got a little massive question mark over its head. Show us these first-party games. Show us something that really just surprises us. And then that's all I'm asking for. Just not even far away, not even release dates, just first-party games that look well, have gameplay, no CGI. I'm not even asking for much here. I feel like I should be asking for more. Just show us an Exile and Compulsions games. Just show us that. And then we'll be happy with a roadmap, because PlayStation's roadmap
is what you're really looking for.
First party is always a reflection of the brand's strength. It will cascade down to the masses. From the noise, I've always said it. Why do you think PlayStation is where it's at? Even if most people just buy COD on that console, or Minecraft, or Madden, or FIFA, it always boils down to the first party. It always does. And Xbox's roadmap so far, because we don't know anything about PlayStation, is so much brighter on paper. On paper, big asterisks, disclaimer, on paper, it's so good. So I want to see something. If you show something in software, when Bethesda got announced, when ZeniMax got announced, I couldn't believe it. You don't understand. I'm a Quake fiend. Like my top 3 games of all time. Well, it's always like Metal Gear Solid 1. No. I think that goes down to 4. It would be Ocarina of Time, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Halo, and Quake 3. So when id Software, a studio that I love, John Carmack, who's a literal genius, he's not there now, but I have so much reverence for this guy. He's so intelligent. When they acquired that, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, yo, ZeniMax, Doom Guy, Quake, Halo, all in the same banner. It's like the biggest wet dream ever I could ask for. It's like incredible, but the results aren't really there. So, I do love John Carmack. He's amazing.
I mean, being fair, it's,
it's not long till
19.
I'm not even asking 19? Much. So I'm not saying it needs to show something.
They're due for a game. They're probably going to have one in the next couple of years, right? So
a couple of years.
You hopefully would have something announced. The usual thing should be announced with CGI trailer 2 years ahead of a release or potential release, and then the year ahead of release you start with an actual gameplay trailer, right? So hopefully we do see that. There's a lot of studios we haven't seen the output of right yet. So there's a lot of work being done that supposedly will be hitting over the next several years, but we just don't know, right? So some of those Bethesda studios that they bought, those studios have games coming and we just don't know what they are, right? So they could show some of those. If you're looking for first party, there is a chance they can wow you, right? Because they do have a lot of stuff they haven't told us. They have a lot of stuff they haven't told us. Now, if ABK somehow miraculously actually gets finished before this, they have even more stuff that they can show us that
will change the narrative and vibe and mood considerably. Right? Considerably.
I can't wait for that thing to be done.
Bro, can you imagine when it gets done? Bro, when that gets done, I know for a fact, as nice and timid as you're being now, if that happens, this is going to be Hoggy. Yeah! Any excuse to do it. Let's go. It's going to be a full bugger party. We're going to be dancing in the streets. I will make the best sauce video ever because we deserve it. Heck no!
Oh my goodness.
I don't know the word.
It'll be an interesting day, I'm sure. Can't wait for that round table. This is about exclusive games coming to Game Pass. Oh my god.
That is actually going to be me the day it gets done. That's how sad I am.
We'll see how that goes. But anyway. Oh boy!
Dismantling.
Guys. According to Jim Ryan, I suppose once that happens, PlayStation players will be abandoning the PlayStation platform in droves, and I'm expecting.
Please downgrade COD on PlayStation so they abandon it in droves. Oh man, that statement. If I had
was ridiculous.
Studio,
but it is what it is.
Frame that here. I'm going to frame that here forever.
So, yes.
Reverse mode. Why can't we super chat?
You must
because I haven't got 1,000 subs.
Prove Jim right. Please, PlayStation.
Oh, but that statement
you must
was a
do
gift.
Jim's bidding.
Please, it's your hero, right? Come on, man, just leave it. Come to the dark side or the light side, wherever where you see us. Oh, Jim Ryan going that'd be bad. I hope you guys.
I didn't really get into much of the what's going on within Microsoft and the breakdown of why this is happening, right? Why all this stupidity. So I don't know if you're kind of done with that topic, or do you want to go into that topic, or because you kind of talked about it and then we went to what do we want to show?
Yeah, no, sorry. This is a bit. I mean, we just kind of smashed it out in the end. I think we can save it for next week. We should do this again next week. I know you're on so many podcasts, bro.
That's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll do it next week. I think we got out. Oh, Huggy, you have to join. We got 204 people watching. Come on, bro.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Shout out to everyone. Hit that like button, people. Hit it. 200 people. Subscribe. Oh,
nice.
And just the beginning, Huggy. Me and you are gonna shit on everyone.
Yeah. I've got plenty of things to say about that. That one's gonna be interesting.
Sum it up. For the future of Xbox. If I was gonna ask you, Huggy, sum it up in one sentence. The Xbox this year, what do you expect? Go. What would you say?
What do I expect? Starfield. Starfield is going to be the turning point, and depending on how stupid Microsoft is or how smart Microsoft is, it could be a huge turning point or it could be a huge thud. And given what their history is, I'm expecting the thud. But they could
don't say that. Don't say that.
They can do it right and make it into a massive turning point. That is a massive game, right? It's a brand new IP from Todd Howard, a team that has just delivered game after game of the year after game of the year after game of the year, right? It's a sci-fi epic. This could be fantastic for them, or again, it could just be thud. I am expecting the game, no matter what, to be a good game. It really just comes down to how does Microsoft now take their machinery and actually do justice to that game, right? That is what needs to happen. And like all the stuff we talked about, the marketing, the push for performance and all that, like all that stuff comes together. And whether it's going to, come out and say, oh, it's going to be 30 frames, and that will be the first negative thing. Oh, it's not going to have this, and oh, that's going to be the next negative thing, right? And like all this stuff just has to not happen, right? So if it's going to be 30 in that June showcase, you better just tell us it's 30, right? Because just get it out of the way, right? Tell us what the game is, and it's 30.
Preach.
Okay, fine.
Preach. Facts. Thank you for saying that.
I don't want to hear a tweet, right? Like, and I'll
from
get
Colt Eastwood.
A tweet. No, that's not the answer. Like, tell us outright, Todd Howard, in his words, I did this because. Fine. Yeah. Right? You better just do it.
Be honest.
Way. I don't want to hear.
Be honest.
Exactly. I don't want to hear bullshit.
If Redfall,
because everything they've shown so far, guys, has been 60. We've seen 60 footage. It's what they've been showing, right? And like
of Redfall,
of Redfall and of Starfield, you see 60
Starfield 30
in the background, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
In the background.
60. Yeah, in the background, they're playing on PC, right? And it's 60.
Yeah,
okay,
on PC.
Right? Fair, right? Fine. But like, I expect it to then be 60 on console, but we'll see what they do, right? So, right. And I don't want the stupid PR stupidities. You got to get it right. Like you're saying, where's the Redfall marketing?
So true.
There's no true. Redfall marketing. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. Next week, they come out and say, oh, we delayed the game until October. Because
which means none of the 12 months hit.
Yeah, and, well, I mean, Minecraft came out, whatever, like Minecraft, but whatever.
Yeah, 17
but so I don't care about the meta. It did come up, but it's just not one of those big impact games, right? So fair enough. And that 12-month thing was another disaster, but we'll get into that. All right. So, but as far as like the one sentence thing, it's Starfield had better freaking hit, and that's the sentence.
Perfect
don't screw
sentence.
it up. Just don't screw it up. Like,
could have asked for a better answer
out of it, and like hit it. Like, you've already put the date out there. It's done. You're gonna have a June showcase, a June through September. I better see like all sorts of stuff about freaking Starfield everywhere. It better be everywhere. And you had better be open about everything that's going to happen. There better not be some crap that comes out 2 weeks before it releases.
Absolutely.
Like, just do it justice. If there's a controller coming, there better be a goddamn console coming. There better be a collector's edition coming. You better do all that stuff, right? Just make that all happen and put it all out there. Make the buzz happen.
Actually,
right?
You're right.
That's what we need to have. And that whatever 20, 30-minute thing you're going to do, people better be like hyped as hell. Dude, that 3-minute trailer for freaking Zelda had people in tears. Tears.
I couldn't believe it.
That's what
couldn't believe
That's what you
need. It made me feel things. Huggy, it made me feel things. That trailer of Zelda made me feel like a kid again. So good.
Yeah,
I felt so stupid for saying, maybe doesn't it look like DLC? I feel like going back in time and punching myself in the well, I don't have ovaries, in the ass, and where my ovaries should be, which is my balls, because that was so dumb what I said. When I saw that trailer, I was like, holy shit. Why did I doubt these guys? This is Nintendo. This is Zelda. This looks mad. It looks so good. I want to feel that. Huggy, you killed it. You killed it. The thing that will save Xbox this year in terms of optics is a first-party title, a title that cannot be replicated on any other console. It is an RPG like this, 20 years in the making, that if it hits the performance notes, that's very important. Yep. It might not based on what's happening with Redfall, but if it hits the performance levels and it hits the quality mark, people will forget what Redfall 30 is like. Who gives a shit about Redfall now? Like, that's that co-op shoot, and fuck it, we got this freaking RPG and 90 1, 2, 3 meta. That's what it needs to be. And before I was apathetic to the idea of a console, Starfield console. Then I'm hold on. Hey, wait a minute. What am I talking about? Hoggy is right. Xbox doesn't have a game of this pedigree for a very long time.
They did it for Halo, which is above that level. But this is huge. This is their generation. This right now is their generation. They better do it. They got to do everything. Pull out all the punches. Pull out all the punches. You just got to do it. You got to do it.
If you believe Microsoft, if you believe in Starfield, if it's as good as you're saying it is, don't give me this bullshit, weird, non-existing marketing Game Pass can suck my thing. I just want full-on marketing. I want to see it on buses. I want to see it on trains. I want to see it underground. I want to see it in my dreams. I want to see ads everywhere. Even if I have ad block, I want to see that shit. I want to see a console, Starfield controller. I don't care if I don't buy it. I want to see aggressive marketing because that shows that you understand. You have some brand awareness. This game is obviously going to be good because you're backing your money with it. And then you release this game and it has the 60 frames per second. If Starfield can have 60 frames, this game that Todd Howard likes, and everyone's going to be like, all right, Arky and Austin completely fucked up with Redfall because this game the scope is massive and 60. That's a chalk it up to an L. And then we'd be like retrospectively thinking, oh, wow, we made so much noise about Redfall being 30 and it was that game. What about this game? This game is amazing and it's running 60. Well done, Microsoft, because that would have shown that Microsoft did send their engineers out to that studio to fix it. They care. Give us finally some indication that Jason Ronald is listening to me. No, if Xbox are listening. So thank you for that answer. I wasn't thinking of that, but you are hitting the nail on the head there. Jeff Grubb was also saying the same thing with Mike Minotti. Shout out to them both. And also people in chat, I would just say it's up to you what you want to do. Asa made a very fun, scathing video on insiders and the value of them on Game on Daily's channel. Watch it. But I don't necessarily share his pessimistic view on it. But I would just say, like, Jeff Grubb is one of the G's in this space that actually doesn't bullshit. Like, he may get things wrong, but he gets a lot right, and he's a genuine insider, not some of the people peddling in this space. So, like, just take it in the spirit that is, and he's a nice guy. I don't have to defend him. Like, I barely talk to him, so it's not like it's like a friend that I'm going out of my way to defend. But I recognize him as a nice person, and just feel like calm down a little bit if you want to. It's up to you. If you have any hate, direct it to Colt Eastwood because he's a piece of. So, yeah, and I'm just kidding, Colt.
Shout out to our friend Colt.
Shout out to Colt. He's had a tough week.
Fonz is in there too,
and he
deserves a whole bunch of
it.
people in the chat. Hey, everyone.
Fonz, thank you for being my spirit animal. Shout out to everyone. I can hear Colt in my head. Shout out to 200 people plus. Please hit the like button and just don't fall for all the doom and gloom. Xbox is here to stay, but that doesn't mean you routinely excuse them. Stay on there to.
You want to know why it's not going to be shut down? That division is going to be worth some $150 to $200 billion. You don't throw that away. That's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen, right? Yeah. And who's going to buy it if they were trying to sell it? Who? Who's going to afford that?
Microsoft is not going to give.
Oh, Sony can't go buy it. No, they can't. They're not even worth that much. Right?
Microsoft can buy Sony now. No, that's not going to happen.
Facts. The profit of Xbox, of Microsoft is equal to the value of Sony.
Yeah. So yeah, we just say it like that.
The value of Sony. That's how much money they have.
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's not even.
There you go.
It's asinine to suggest that. But Xbox is not going anywhere, and if Microsoft ever gave up its gaming division, it would have given up its only entry into the real living room, which it has struggled for years through its mobile devices, through its Zune, through its music, all these endeavors.
This is their only major consumer thing, which is why he bought Minecraft. Right, Satya didn't even think twice. He didn't blink. He bought it. He's like, dude, I'm sure his nephews and nieces and his kids are like, oh, I love this Minecraft thing. It's like, I want Microsoft labeled all over that, right? Yeah. So that kids are like, oh, Microsoft gave me that game, right? That's what he wants.
It's in the green at what, 3 billion or something, like 1 billion.
They bought it for like 2.4, and they've expanded that dramatically, dude. That
Mad.
thing is like all over the place.
And considering Roblox is like 30, 40 billion, I don't even understand how that works. But that Roblox alone is 30, 40 billion. Minecraft's value must be really high because they turned green on that.
Minecraft is the top-selling game. It like flip-flops with Tetris, the top-selling game of all time.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, so yeah, that doesn't mean that Xbox is all plain sailing. What we're saying is Xbox will fuck up, but you have to keep an eye on it. We will need to keep out of the showcase Starfield. If Starfield doesn't bang, it is a problem for Xbox as a brand. As for gamers, especially Xbox gamers, you just need to be quiet or be very loud. One of the two things, because Hoggy, you hit the nail on the head there. Starfield's the one to watch out for. Well, that was a fun podcast, the first one on this holy day. It was a interesting start to the whole shenanigans. We'll be back soon and doing more of these streams, more on of gaming and everything. There's so much here. The branding and stuff is all like a placeholder. But thanks to shout out to Colt for this like overlay. Wouldn't even have had this if it was for Colt. So shout out to him. And yeah, we're gonna say goodbyes. But before we do, Huggy, tell people where they can't find you because you're not anywhere. Well, you're everywhere.
You can find me on Twitter at Elon Musk.
There it is.
You can tell them
I'm typing. That's not Elon Musk. I even spelled that wrong.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, shout out to Hoggy. You'll find him in all kind of podcasting circuits. He's now RDX full-time manager. You're on Boom's show. Am I missing a few?
No, that's it for now. There's my Xbox gamer tag is HChani, and so you can check me out there. But yeah, otherwise, there's Boom's primetime gaming on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then US time, and then RDX Dealers RDX podcast 8 p.m. Eastern US time on Tuesdays, and then we'll hopefully get this to become something more regular. So yeah.
No, definitely will, man. It was such a fun time. Shout out to everyone. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the source. Amazing chat, all of you. I was reading the chat. It was funny because no wonder you've got money for all these codes, Hoggy. You are Elon Musk, says the beer baron. Oh man. Shout out to everyone. Thank you so much. We're really grateful for you guys turning up. Just stay saucy and fight the good fight on Twitter. It's goodbye.